All right, good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to BBSN. And this is Anthony. And tonight we're going to bounce back over to our Strat Time Machine project featuring the 1922 St. Louis Browns visiting 1977. And in this, they leave the friendly confines of Sportsman's Park for the first time this season and travel to the Windy City, where they open a series against the Chicago White Sox. And the Browns at this point are 5-2 on the season. And we will go over our starting lineups, and then we'll be ready to play some baseball. So for the visiting Browns tonight, no changes really to the familiar lineup you're used to seeing. And that will be Jack Tobin leading off and playing right field. At third base, batting second, Frank Ellerby. George Sisler will be at first base and hit third. Ken Williams, who is my sleeper Hall of Fame guy. And Glenn is on. How you doing, Glenn? Good to have you. We're just getting ready to start here. And batting fifth will be Baby Doll Jacobson in center. Marty McManus will be batting sixth and plays second base. Pat Collins catching, hitting seventh. Chick Short in the DH will bat eighth. And Wally Gerber will bat ninth and play shortstop. And go Browns indeed. Hoping to have a good game tonight. And the Chicago White Sox, they do match up very well against them. And for the hometown White Sox, leading off and playing shortstop will be Alan Bannister. Hitting second in left field tonight, Royal Stillman. Second baseman George Ortle will hit third. Richie Zisk will bat fourth and play in right field tonight. Jim Spencer, Big Jim, will be at first base hitting fifth. Oscar Gamble, the designated hitter, batting sixth. Eric Soderholm, third baseman, bats seventh. Chet Lemon will be in center field and hit eighth. And the catcher tonight, batting ninth, will be Jim Essien. And before we get going, I do need to make one quick change here to my lineup. I still had Hank Severide in the lineup from the last game, so with that. Al, Red Sox fan, how are you? Welcome to the chat. And we're not in the friendly confines of the Green Cathedral tonight. I'm in my office, and that way I can see the chat better on the computer. If I could get to that point where I could see it. Okay. And anyway, I think we'll just go ahead and get started. I'll have to figure out the whole monitor chat through the computer thing later. And in the meantime, I can just see comments on the phone. So with that, let's roll. First up for the Brownies in their first home game or game away from home. I am very well, thank you, Al. Hope you are as well. Jack Tobin and Chris Knapp on the mound for the Sox, and that is going to be a ground ball down to second base. So George Orta takes care of that, and Jack goes down. Next up will be Frank Ellerby. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field, and under that is Royal Stillman. He did not play at all the first time these two teams met at Sportsman's Park, so 2 quick outs for the Brownies. And that brings up George Sisler, the Hall of Famer, 420 hitting George Sisler in 1922. And that's going to be a ground ball pitcher X. And a 1, and Chris Knapp is a 3. And that's going to be a single, so Sisler gets the Brownies' first hit of the day. And again, using the borrowing a little bit from payoff pitch on the Steele system here, even though it's basic. And Sisler does not get a jump, so he'll remain at first base. And up next will be Ken Williams. And Williams off to a great start this season. The pitch is 6 and an 8, and that's going to be a split chance, double or triple. And 13 will be a double, and there will 2 outs, and Sisler is going to come around to score. And Ken Williams does it again. A double gets the Brownies out on top here right out of the gate, 1-0. And Williams thus far, like I said, he's off to a very good start. And just to go over some stats for the Browns, Williams through 7 games is hitting .444. And that is his 3rd double of the year and his 6th RBI. He has also scored 4 runs. So right now he's mashing as Baby Doll Jacobson comes up. And Baby Doll not quite off to the start that some of his teammates are. He currently is sitting at a rather pedestrian-like, at least for this team, 214, and he has 6 hits in 28 at-bats thus far in this season. So Baby Doll ready to go. And a 6 and a 9, and that's a split chance home run double. And Jacobson, he gets a lot, but not enough. That's going to hit off the top of the fence out in left field. And motoring around to score is Williams. So Baby Doll looking to break out of his early season slump. And he has a 2-out RBI, back-to-back doubles by Williams and the Baby Doll. And Brownies take a 2-0 lead. Up next, second baseman Marty McManus. And 2 and a 7, that's going to be a fly ball to left field, and Stillman puts that away. So the Sox are out of it here in the top of the first, but not before the Browns strike twice. And we're going to head to the bottom of the inning. Brownies up 2-0. And my off's a little bit more condensed space and when I play in the game room, but the cards do slide much better on the desk than they do on the pool table. So that's a bonus. And Alan Bannister set to lead it off against Dixie Davis. They became the Orioles. The Brownies did become the Orioles. 1954 was the year they moved to Baltimore, I believe. And 6 and 7, that is going to be on Davis's card, and that is not usually in a good spot for him, but this is going to be a ground ball X. And shortstop for the Brownies, Wally Gerber is a 2, roll of 13. And that's going to be a ground ball out. So Gerber makes a nice play on Bannister, whips it over to Sisler. And one quick out for the White Sox here in the bottom of the first inning. Dixie Davis the pitch, 4 and a 7, struck him out. Swing and a miss, and back to the dugout you go, Mr. Stillman, 2 down. Davis, who had a rough outing his first time out, punches Stillman's ticket on the K. George Orta the batter. 5 and an 8, and that's going to be a split chance possible home run here. No bueno. 17, and Orta drives that one into the gap, and he's going to motor into second, a stand-up double. So the White Sox trouble started with 2 outs in the top of the inning, and the Sox now have their own 2-out hit, and Richie Zisk coming up. He can tie this with 1 swing of the bat here. Richie, the powerhouse, 3 and a 3, and that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. And Gerber takes care of that. No harm, no foul. Jerry Ball, how are you? Welcome to the game. Just getting started here. In fact, we just finished the first inning, and the Brownies lead this one early, 2-0, as we head to the top of the second. And catcher Pat Collins will lead it off. Collins, of course, went on to success with the New York Yankees later in this decade. Got himself a nice World Series ring with them. Playing with the likes of the Babe, Lou Gehrig, Tony Lazzeri. And 4 and a 10 from Knapp, and that's going to be an ex-catcher. And Essien is a 2. 2 and a 1, and that is going to be a pass ball 1 followed by a strikeout. So we will bypass the pass ball and just go right to the strikeout. Sit down, Pat Collins. 1 down for the Brownies. And designated hitter Chick Shorten. And again, this position did not exist back when he played, so he's loving it, getting some ABs here. And that's a 6 and a 2. That's going to be a fly ball to right field. And underneath that one is Richie Zisk. And 2 quick outs. And Wally Gerber, the shortstop, comes up now. Knapp winds, delivers, 3 and a 10, and that's going to be a ground ball down to short. And up with that is Bannister over to Spencer, and the Brownies go down 1-2-3 in the top of the second inning. So no hits, no runs, no errors, and we head to the bottom of the second, and Oscar Gamble is going to lead it off for the Sox. Our score 2-0 in favor of the Brownies. So Dixie Davis on the mound. He needs a lot of run support. As you can see, at a rather high 4.08 ERA in 1922. 4 and a 9. That's going to be a fly ball to center field, and under that is Baby Doll Jacobson. 1 down. Next batter up, Oscar Gamble. The Brownies are indeed playing the Southside Hitman. And off to a good start against him. 4 and a 6, and that's going to be a line out. Scorcher down to third base, and Ellerby plucks that out of the air. No doubt liking the much bigger and more pliable gloves they have in 1977 versus the stiff leather hand covers back in his day. So 2 down, Eric Soderholm the batter. And 5 and 11, that's going to be a catcher's card X. And Pat Collins, he is a 3. And 3 and a 1. And that's going to be a strikeout. Ring him up, Johnny. And Soderholm goes down swinging. So Davis off to a good start here. And we head to the top of the third. And our score remains Brownies 2 and the Southside Hitmen 0. Back to the top of the order for the Brownies. And Chris Knapp will face Jack Tobin. Here comes a pitch. And 1 and a 10. That's going to be long gone, no doubt about that. Deep to left field, Jack Tobin. Solo shot over the Comiskey Park wall, and the Brownies go up 3-0. And he got all of that first pitch swinging, and he deposited that 7 rows deep into the bleachers. A monster shot as Tobin circles the bases, doffs his cap, and Frank Ellerby steps up. 2 and a 6, and Ellerby draws a walk. So Knapp a little bit rattled now after that leadoff shot by Tobin. Ellerby not a base runner. He'll only steal on a 2. Not going to happen. George Sisler now steps in. And Sisler 1 and a 9, and that's a single, runner's advance 2. So he drives that right back up the middle, and Ellerby motors to third. Runners on the corner, and nobody out. Ken Williams is up. Not the situation Knapp wanted here. Williams now hitting 460, over 460, after his first inning run-scoring double. And Sisler, he's going to try and steal here. See if he gets a jump. He does not. So Knapp will pitch, comes home, 2 and a 12, and fly ball to right field. And that is going to be deep enough, and that's going to bring Ellerby home from third. So sacrifice fly, and that's Williams' second RBI of the day, and the Brownies jump off to a 4-0 lead now. Baby Doll Jacobson up, and Jacobson squares his shoulders. 6'3", 215 pounds is Baby Doll. It's a big man for a Baby Doll. 6 and 6, and that's going to be a walk. So he expands the strike zone and trots down to first base, and that is Knapp's second walk of the game. And looks like it could be a short outing for Mr. Knapp here. Marty McManus up, and that's a 3-10. That's going to be a pop out to shortstop. Bannister circles under that, puts it away. And that is our second out of the inning now. And Pat Collins, Severide the better defensive catcher. Collins much better with the stick, and he gets the pitch from Knapp. And 3 and a 6, and he's going to draw the walk there. So the Brownies, and that's Knapp's third walk of the inning, they load the sacks up, and Chick Shorten, the designated hitter, comes up to the plate for St. Louis. As I stumble over my words here, kind of like Knapp is stumbling over this inning. 5 and a 9, and that's going to be a ground ball X to shortstop. And Bannister, he is a 4. 4 and a 17. And that is going to be a 2-base error. Runners advance 2, so it just gets worse for the Sox here. 2 unearned runs will score. No RBI on that as George Sisler crosses the plate. Baby Doll Jacobson crosses the plate. Pat Collins to third, and Chick Shorten to second on the E6. And that now makes our score 6-0, and we're only in the third inning, and already action in the Chicago bullpen. And they are going to get Dave Frost up. And actually, they will not get Dave Frost up. I'm going to go with Don Kirkwood. Don Kirkwood winding or loosening up down there in the pen. And Wally Gerber comes up. Gerber will be the 9th batter of this inning, and the Browns looking to put this one away early. 3 and a 2, and that's going to be a pop-up. And Orta's underneath that, and the inning is mercifully over for the Southsiders. Their hometown fans not too happy as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Our score, Browns 6, the Chi Sox 0. And Chet Lemon is going to try and get something going here for the hometowners. Dixie Davis back on the hill with a big lead. Gets a sign. Here comes a pitch, and 2 and a 4. That's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. So up with that is Gerber over to first base, and we have one quick out. Jim Essien, the catcher, 1 and a 4, and he's going to draw the walk. So Essien trots down to first base, and we are back to the top of the order. Shortstop Alan Bannister comes up. Davis looking to induce the double play ball here. And 6 and 11, and that's going to be a fly ball right field X. And Tobin out there is a 2. Whoop. Battle for the Windy City. Go Jerry Ball. I love that cross. I think actually the Chicago, you know I'm a Yankees fan. I make that pretty clear. But I think of all the rivalries, cross-league rivalries, the Chicago North Side, South Side is definitely the best. I'd even put that ahead of Mets Yankees. But anyway, 19. And 19 and a 2. And that's going to be a nice running catch for Tobin. So hustling back to first is Essien. 2 down now. And Royal Stillman, the batter, the left fielder. And Stillman, 3 and a 9, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Baby Doll underneath that. And Dixie Davis, he is through 3 innings, and so far unscathed as the Brownies continue to lead this one 6-0. And Knapp comes back out on the mound. You got to think he has a pretty short leash at this point. So we will see how long he stays in this game. Tobin, he led off the last inning with a monster shot into left field bleachers, and 2 and a 10. He's going to pop this one up, however. Orta underneath that, and 1 down. Frank Ellerby, the batter. Knapp delivers 4 and 4, and struck him out. So Ellerby can't catch up with a high heat. Heads back to the dugout dejected. George Sisler. Sis, 2 for 2, 2 runs scored here. And 3 and 5. And Sisler going to rack that one down the right field line. And that's going to rattle around in the corner. Sisler digging for second. He's in there sliding ahead of the tag. And he has his 3rd hit of the day, a double. So once again, the Brownies have a runner in scoring position. And if Knapp cannot get Williams out, his day is going to be over. 4 and 8, and that's going to be a single. And Sisler has a choice to score. And 1 to 18. And he just gets in under the tag there, luckily for the 2-out adjustment. So that's Ken Williams' 3rd RBI of the day, and it is now 7 to 0, and it is now time to say goodnight to Mr. Knapp. Hi, DJ. How are you, buddy? All is well. Hope you're doing well also. You tuned into a rout, unfortunately, as the Brownies just pushed their 7th run across. Top of the 4th inning, and Don Kirkwood will be the new pitcher for the Sox. And just going to get him added here to the scorebook. So Knapp, he goes 3 2/3 innings, and at this point has given up 7 runs, 2 of them unearned. And he is on the hook for Ken Williams as well, too. So Baby Doll Jacobson steps up to the plate, and Jacobson, he has walked and doubled in a run back in the 1st. And a pitch, 5 and 6, and that's going to be a split chance. And Jacobson a single. And Williams 2 out. He's going to try and get to 3rd here. And, oh, they got him down. The throw from Chet Lemon. And he cannot get under the tag, slaps it down, bang, bang, play, and Williams is thrown out at 3rd base. So fortunately, the Sox get out of the inning with only 1 run across, and we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Our score, Brownies 7, Chi Sox 0. And George Orta, Sox now just looking to get anything going. Chet bitter lemon indeed, and that was a bitter pill for Williams to swallow. He should have thought he had that easily, but Lemon with the cannon. And the lemon drop, if you will, on Ken Williams there. Hi, DJ. Sorry you're feeling down, brother. Hope you get better. I know that the flu has been absolutely nasty this year, and knock on wood, I've been able to avoid it thus far. Hoping to stay that way. 5 and 11 for Dixie Davis, and that goes to the catcher's X card. And Collins again is a 3. And 3 and 5, and that's going to be a safe at first. Collins muffs the pop-up. Unbelievable. A nice candy little pop-up there out in front of the plate, and he cannot bring it in. So big innings in horror movies always start with an E2. We'll see what this one is, as Orta's down at first base. Trailing 7-0, we're not even going to try for the jump here to steal. 5 and 6, and Davis rings him up. Strike 3, and back to the dugout goes Richie Zisk. So Davis pitching much better than he did in his first outing. He was kind of battered around in that one. And 6 and 4, and that's going to be a split chance single or a line out. We need a 20 to make the play here. Not going to happen. So single, runners advance 1, and into second goes Orta as Jim Spencer safe at first. 2 on, 1 out, and the Sox have a little mini rally going here. Hoping to make it at least a respectable game. Pitch at risk to Richie Zisk, indeed. Not much in the field, but he did wield a heavy stick back in the day. Oscar Gamble. 5 and a 3, and that's a ground ball X to pitcher. And Dixie Davis is a 1, so he's pretty decent there. And 6 and a 1, and that is going to be a 1-6-3 double play. Davis flashing the leather out there. And that gets the Brownies out of the inning as Gamble snuffs the rally out with a double play back to the pitcher. We're heading to the top of the 5th, still 7-0 Brownies. And Mike, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Don Kirkwood up. Starter Chris Knapp was knocked out of the box last inning. So Kirkwood to face McManus, his second inning of work. And 6 and an 8, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And Tobin puts that away easily. I'm sorry, Tobin Zisk puts that away easily, 1 down. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that, good sir, and glad to have you watching. And 1 and a 6, and that is going to be a strikeout. So Collins gets rung up. And 2 down for the Brownies, and Kirkwood seems to have the answer here. Has stopped the hemorrhaging somewhat. Chick Short and the designated hitter up to, and 5-11, and that's going to be a walk. So Shorten on at first base, and that brings up the 9th place hitter, Wally Gerber. Gerber has grounded out and popped out to second base. 2 and a 6, and that's going to be a split chance. And Gerber with the single, and that's going to move the runner along 1, playing station to station here. And I think they're just setting this up for the big boys, and one of them would be Jack Tobin. Tobin launched a rocket into the left field bleachers back in the 3rd inning. So 2 down, and Kirkwood looking to minimize the damage here. Get out of this, no further runs crossing the plate. 4 and a 7. And not going to happen, single, but the runners only advance 1 base. So the bases are juiced, and they're juiced for the only hitter in the Browns lineup the pitchers don't mind facing, the 246 hitting Frank Ellerby. And Frankie says, I can prove something too. He gets in the pitch, 4 and an 8. And that's going to be a potential single. Can he squeeze this by? No, he cannot. And instead, that will be a ground ball to third base. And the Sox, they haven't really dodged many bullets tonight. That was a howitzer shot they dodged there. So they escape with no damage. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Your score, Brownies 7, Sox 0. And Dixie Davis feeling blessed with the huge lead. Saunders out to the mound confidently. Stares down Eric Soderholm. Here comes a pitch. And 4 and 11. And that's going to be a ground ball X to first. A lot of error chances. Sisler is a 1 and a 10. And Sisler boots that into foul territory, and that's the 2nd error of the day for the Brownies. The Sox also have 1. So Soderholm on with an E3 to start the inning. And sooner or later, this lack of leather is going to come back and haunt this team. Don't think it'll happen today, though. 5 and a 10, and that's going to be a ground ball down to third. X and Ellerby. Big Frank is a 3. And 13 and a 3, that's going to be a fielder's choice. So 5-4 Soderholm goes down, and Lemon is on at first base. And Lemon is the only player in the Sox lineup that can run and not need to be timed with the sundial. So down 7-0, he's going to see what he can do. Does not get the jump, so he's staying put. And Jim Essie in the catcher. Just roll that again. And 6 and an 8. And it's going to be a line out to Sisler, and he tries to tag Lemon. Lemon back to the base just in time. So 2 down. A nice snag there by Sisler at first base. Back to the top of the order, Alan Bannister up. And 4 and an 8, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. Tobin underneath that, and he puts it away. So another inning in the books, and another inning with no runs on the board for the Chi Sox. And we're heading to the top of the 6th, folks, and it is 7-0. So our time travelers, a good showing thus far. It's early, but they're well on their way to 6 and 2. And IDJ, I hope you get to feeling better. Have a good night, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. And George Sisler here, ready to lead off the 6th. And 4 and a 5, and that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. And Bannister the 4. And 4 and 11, and that's going to be a ground out. So Bannister with a nice pickup there, guns down Sisler. 1 down, and Ken Williams. Williams is going to get out of this game probably hitting around 500. He has 2 for 2 tonight and has driven in 3 runs, a sac fly, a single, and a double. 4 and an 8, and that's going to be a split chance. Let's see if he can squeeze that by. No, that's going to be a line out to third base. So L5, and a nice play by Soderholm down there. And Baby Doll Jacobson. Jacobson came into this game hitting a paltry 214, but so far tonight looks like he's off the schneid. 2 for 2, a walk, a double, a single, scored a run, driven a run in. And the pitch, 3 and a 7, and that's going to be a single. So Baby Doll on base, and this team has 0 stolen bases yet this year. I don't know what happened here. I just got a little bit out of track there. Sorry about that, guys. Get resituated. And so he will steal on a 4. Try to steal anyway. He's going to go. So I know they're rubbing salt into the wounds here, but they need to get on the... this team ran a little bit more in 1922. Have not run much thus far. And so this is going to be a 1 to 15. He is safe. And no! Essien comes up firing and guns Jacobson down. It's kind of just desserts for trying to rub it in. So the out at second base in the top of the 6th is over. And we head to the bottom of the inning, and our score remains 7-0 Brownies, so they haven't done much lately. And leading it off for the hometowners here in the bottom of the 6th inning will be Royal Stillman. Dixie Davis having a strong game for the Brownies. 5 and a 10, and that's going to be a ground ball X down to third base, and Ellerby. 14, and he is a 2. And Ellerby, a nice pickup, guns it over there. Stillman is retired, 5-3, 1 down. Watch the brush back. Yeah, and you know if you're following my payoff pitch Cubs replay, we've had a couple of dust-ups with the Cubs thanks to posturing on home runs. That's happened twice. So it looks like the Brownies are trying to get on the chin music chain as well. We'll see what happens next time he comes up. 4 and a 10, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field X. Baby Doll Jacobson, the subject of our conversation. And Baby Doll is a 1 out there. And 15. And he comes in, makes a nice sliding catch of that, takes a base hit away from George Orta. And 2 down here, and up to bat is Richie Zisk, Big Richie. Pitch at risk to Richie Zisk. And 5 and a 10, and that's going to be a ground ball X to third and a 2. I already rolled the 20-sider. And 16 on that, and that's going to be another nice play by Ellerby. And again over to Sisler, and 6 innings are in the books, and the Sox not looking very promising for the Southsiders as they still trail this one 7-0 as we head to the 7th inning. Marty McManus set to lead it off for the visitors. And Kirkwood is still in there. This is going to be his last inning. There's action in the Chi Sox bullpen. And down there is Jack Cusick warming up. So he will come in the 8th inning or sooner, depending on what happens here. McManus, the batter. 5 and a 3, and that's going to be a fly ball X to right field. And going back for that is Zisk. Zisk, not the most proficient outfielder with the glove. And 14, he is a 4. And Zisk misplays that badly, boots it around, and that's a single. So gets a throw back in to hold McManus to first, but he looked ugly going after that one. And Richie says, "You pay me to hit, not field." So McManus on at first. He's not going to tempt the fates or the brushback gods by trying to steal here. Up to the plate comes Pat Collins. Collins has struck out twice and walked today. 2 and a 7, and struck him out again. So Collins, the trifecta, as he heads back to the dugout shaking his head and cursing the announcer who said he was the better offensive option of the Browns catchers. Not tonight. He is 0 for 3 with 3 Ks as Chick Shorten comes up. 6 and a 9, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Kirkwood, swing and a miss and a whiff for Shorten. 2 down, 2 strikeouts, and Wally Gerber comes up. And can he get the hat trick? Kirkwood has a sign, delivers. 1 and a 12, and foul out plus injury. And we are not doing injuries in this one, so we'll just say that's a foul out to Essien. And the Brownies go down in the top of the 7th inning. Our score going into the 7th inning stretch is St. Louis 7 and the Chi Sox 0. And Kirkwood's night will be done. He pitched quite well. Kirkwood gets in 3 1/3 innings and gives up no runs. So a good outing for him, and Jack Cusack will be on the mound when the Browns hit in the 8th inning. But meanwhile, the Sox have a lot of work to do. And 7th inning stretch time, and you know what that means. At the old ball game. No, let me hear you, because we're not in Chicago, but no, I guess we are, just not with Harry Carey. 1 and a 9 to Spencer, and struck him out. Dixie Davis still throwing pellets here in the late innings. And 1 down. Oscar Gamble comes up to the plate. A 4 and a 6, and that's going to be a line out to third base in Ellerby. Old ball game indeed, Al. Ellerby with a nice play there. Obviously inspired to play some defense by my Golden Pipes. Not. And Eric Soderholm, 2 down, comes up. And 6 and a 10, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Babied all comfortably under that. Puts it away. And we're heading to the 8th, folks, and the Sox still have not broken the score column here, as Dixie Davis is pitching a masterful game. Who'd have thunk it? He He is probably the worst starter on the staff, but he has turned in a yeoman-like performance tonight. And in fact, the Sox have... Wow, at this point, he is throwing a two-hitter. Jerry says my singing has caused the outage. Probably right. My singing's caused a lot of things, and I can promise you, buddy, none of them have been good. So there you go. Just responsible for one more evil deed with my lungs there. Tobin to face Cusick, and 4 and a 7, and struck him out. So Cusick comes out dealing, and a swing and a miss. Tobin goes down. Frank Ellerby the batter now. 3 and a 9, and that's going to be strikeout. 1, 2, 3 goes Ellerby. So ring him up, Johnny. 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts, and George Sisler up. And the Brownies are catching a lot of air tonight in the later innings. 3 and a 6, and that's not going to be a strikeout. Sisler gets all of that, ropes that down the right field line, and he is motoring around, and he's going to hold up. He thought about it. Actually, he is going for third base, and he's going to get in ahead of the throw, which is offline. So Sisler does what the Browns do best, and that's hit triples. And so 2 out, runner on third base for Ken Williams, looking to get his 4th RBI of the evening. He lined out to third base his last time up. And 3 and a 9, and that's going to do it. Possibly. Let's see. No! And a nice play at second base by Orta. Lays out and snags that. The line drive. Takes away an RBI and a base hit, and the inning is over. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Score remains St. Louis 7, Chicago 0. So Chet, Bitter Lemon, comes out, and he's going to see if he can get something going here. Again, at this point, just playing for pride, these guys. Davis the pitch. 4 and a 7, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Davis with a whiff. And he probably will not pitch a game like this all year. 2 hits through 7 1/3 innings and 1 walk. The Chi Sox have also had a couple of runners reach base on errors, but they're not touching Dixie. 5 and a 3, and ground ball to pitcher X. Davis is a 1 and a 1. And that's going to be a nice play. Backhands that, gets it over to Sisler. 1-3, and we have 2 down. So Davis, when they do put it in play, he's there to make them pay with some nice glove work on the mound. 2 down now. And Alan Bannister, top of the order for the Sox. Davis fires. And 6 and a 9, and that is going to be a fly ball into left field. Ken Williams back underneath that and puts it away. And we are heading to the bottom of the 8th inning now. Our score remains the Brownies 7 and the White Sox 0. So Baby Doll Jacobson leads off the 8th here, and the Browns, despite their big lead, have not really threatened much since the 4th inning when they scored their last run, when Sisler was singled in by Ken Williams. Baby Doll 1 and 5, and that's going to be a single. So we thought we might see a little brushback action on Baby Doll after he tried to steal last time, but they do not, saving that for a later date perhaps. And he's going to stay put on first base now for McManus. And 2 and a 7, that's going to be a fly ball into left field. And Stillman comes in, puts that away, 1 down. Pat Collins. Collins has been the only Brown who has not had his way with Chicago pitching tonight. And he is 0 for 3. He is walked, but also struck out 3 times, going for the golden sombrero. Welcome back, Jerry. 2 and a 5, and that's going to be strike out the sombrero. You wear it well, Mr. Collins. 4 times tonight he's gone down swinging. And I have a feeling this might be his last start in a little while. I'm sure we're going to see Hank Severide back in the lineup tomorrow as Chick Shorten. He struck out his last time up as well. And 5 and an 8, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Chet Lemon underneath that puts it away. And again, Jerry, I apologize for my rendition of the old ball game, cutting off your feed there, but all's well, and we're heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Sox, and Dixie Davis working on a 2-hitter. We want Hank. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I'm slow. I missed that in my old age. you have me looking through the card at White Sox for someone named Hank, buddy. 4 and a 10, and that's going to be a fly ball X to center field. Baby doll. And roll of a 9, and Jacobson is a 1 out there. So 9-1, and Jacobson another stellar play with the glove. And we have 1 down, and my battery is getting low, so it's good. So hopefully there is no 7-run rally here to send this into extras. Royal Stillman, the batter. 4 and a 7, and struck him out. Ring him up, Johnny. Back to the dugout goes Stillman, and that is the 2nd time he's gone down flailing tonight. And Davis continues to hold court here, showing everyone how it should be done. 4.08 ERA means nothing right now. Davis looking to cinch up his 2-hit shutout here with George Orta at the plate. And 2 and a 5. And that's going to be a ground ball down to first base. Sisler up with it, takes to the bag himself, and this one is in the books, folks. Sisler unassisted, and the ball game is over. So the Brownies break out of the gate fast. They drive starter Chris Knapp from the box in the 4th inning. Score 2 in the 1st, 4 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 4th. And they roll the Chicago White Sox here in the Windy City 7-0. And Dixie Davis, the 2-hit shutout. And this is the last guy you would expect on this team. I mean, look at his card. He has some bad numbers there, but he was on it tonight. So, hey, Al, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Jerry, likewise to you as well. And thanks for dropping in. Big blowout win for the Brownies, and we will be back later with our 69 payoff pitch Cubs up next as they head out to St. Louis to start a series with the Cardinals. And that's a game I'm actually real excited for. Fergie Jenkins will be on the mound for the Cubbies, and the Cardinals will send the lefty Steve Carlton to the mound. So that should be a wonderful game. But until then, take care. Have a good night, everyone. And remember, if you keep playing games, you stay young. So roll on and have a good one. Thank you.